would you like to bring the crystals up to your foreheads at the third eye position? In the little time that you have available, try and make a connection with the crystal. Try and feel it. Connect with the crystal. Imagine the crystal is actually moving from the position on your forehead. Just feel the crystal. Move to the inside, the position at the center of your head where the pineal is. Now I want you to visualize your pineal gland is inside the crystal, which you've now moved to the center of your head. Think of the pineal as a tiny, multifaceted crystal ball. Now we shift to focus now, and in your mind's eye, imagine a small version of you, just as you are now, just as you're dressed, walking along a deep sapphire blue path. Now this path leads to your own crystal temple. It's a little way ahead of you, a little way ahead of your small self. Just take a little time and try to sense your little self, pulling the frequencies of the deep sapphire blue path into itself. Everything else around it is dark. Just imagine the frequency of this rich and vibrant color under the feet. Now what this small version of yourself is going to do is going to reach the pineal, the tiny multifaceted crystal inside the crystal temple. Keep walking along the path. Do your best to feel the blue sapphire energies. You can notice the crystal temple just a little way ahead of you along the path if you wish. But concentrate on drawing the frequency from the sapphire light. And watch as the little self approaches the temple entrance. Watch as it enters the temple. And watch as it finds the tiny, multifaceted crystal ball inside. This crystal ball radiates energy, which feels like a fuzzy outer shell. Watch as the hands of your little self explore this fuzzy barrier. And as it does this, transfer the sensation of the energy from your little self into your own physical feeling. Now we'll mimic what your little self has found. We'll copy it. You can bring your crystals away from your foreheads now. Bring the backs of your hands up towards your shoulders, palms facing me. Now from the position they're in, move your palms forward and backwards just by a small amount, and try and feel a layer of tension. Try and keep your consciousness on the little self as well, which is doing the same thing. As you practice this at home on your own, you'll find as you pull more consciousness into your body by working with this technique, progressively you'll feel the barriers further away from you, which will be indicative of the level of consciousness that the exercise is producing in you. Now as you watch the little self, you notice that what it does is to draw its hands forward, and you're going to do the same thing at the same time, and to form a cup, as if when you're in school you're trying to cup water in the palms of your hands. You're going to copy your little self now, and what you do is you see your little self raising the palms up and over the crown. Just wait. And you hear the little self say, "I command now my book of knowledge." When this is said with certainty and knowing, a glowing crimson ball just seems to pop up in the center of the small self's hands. You see this crimson ball pop up in the small self's hands now, and you see it begin to spin. It spins faster and faster, until suddenly the crystal ball turns into silver liquid light, held in the cup of the little self's hands. The small self now continues to raise its cupped palms slowly and gently. It pours the liquid light onto its own crown chakra. You may copy this movement now. Imagine that you too are pouring the silver liquid light into your crown chakra. When the little self has transferred all of the silver liquid into the crown chakra, remove your physical hands also from your head. And as you do this, notice that the little self feels a flutter of energy as waves of silver light pass through its whole body. Just relax your hands now. Meanwhile, the crimson ball which appeared earlier is nestled in the heart center. Make a connection with the crimson ball at your heart center. And then bring your attention back to your whole body and try to feel the sensation of tiny sparks of liquid silver light flooding through your own cells. And at the same time, try to maintain your connection with the crimson ball while you feel the liquid light. This crimson ball has the capacity to release locks on knowledge in an earthly capacity. Now, inhale, and on the exhale, breathe silver energy into the ball, making it expand. Repeat the inhale once or twice until you sense that the crimson ball has reached the size of a grapefruit. Return your attention to the little self and notice that it now opens and extends its right palm. It is receiving a frequency key. The frequency key looks like an ancient golden key. Please copy what the little self has just done. Open your right palm and hold it forwards. Try to feel the fuzzy presence an inch or so above your palm, where the symbol key is now manifesting in the astral. Notice that the little self has now put its palms together. It's transferring a mirror image of the symbol key into the left palm. When you do this at home, from time to time the color of the key will change, though the key itself will remain the same. The small self now opens the hands and puts the palms onto the force field surrounding the crystal which holds the pineal inside. It transfers the symbols into the force field. Now, bring the back of your physical hands back up to your shoulders in the position you used a few minutes ago. Feel the force field of the crystal. Inhale, and on the exhale, transfer the symbols into the field. Doing this will temporarily release resistance in the field and allow what is present to move through you. The small body now removes its hands from the force field around the crystal and simply walks through it into the multifaceted pineal crystal at the center of the crystal temple. Try to sense or feel the swoosh as the little self enters, and you follow, discovering that the force field is easy to pass through. As you move inside the temple, you notice that it has grown huge. In the center, you notice a tiny gold and silver box. It sits in a small pool of light, surrounded by deep blue sapphire light. This box holds the jewel you are seeking. The little self knows the route to this box, and you follow any path that the little self takes. Everything around you is delightful, and everywhere is surrounded by deep blue sapphire light. You move forward, drawn by the knowing of the small self, both of you together as if pulled by a magnetic beam. The tiny silver gold box, surrounded by deep blue sapphire light, grows closer and closer. The deep sapphire blue all around it is lush, rich, and alive. You reach the small silver gold box and pick it up. It feels warm and soft to your touch. You open the box. Rays of multicolored light radiate out, and you see the rays radiating from a small, perfectly formed crystal. The rays are the knowledge of self, flowing up to you from the core template. The small self picks up the crystal and puts it into its mouth. Copy this yourself. Feel the sensation of the tiny crystal on your tongue. Your small self swallows the crystal with no resistance at all, and the crystal moves down to the solar plexus chakra, seat of the 3D mind. Feel yourself swallow the crystal too, and feel it move down to your own solar plexus. This crystal holds all knowledge of your true self, within and across all cycles. Feel the crystal in your upper stomach now. It is a living entity. It will stay with you until its information, knowledge, and consciousness is absorbed by your body. When you have time and space to fully concentrate on the textures and the movements in this exercise, you will only need to perform it once. However, you have several keys available to you. Each one takes 6 months to absorb, working with a 3 to 6 day cycle. We urge you not to use it more frequently. During each 6 month cycle in meditation, simply return to the crystal point in the stomach, and the crystal will teach you the things you most need to know. Though this exercise can also enable you to open up very specific conduits of data. You can leave your small self in the temple to learn more, or you can bring it home, whichever feels more comfortable. This technique is also very useful as a walking exercise. It teaches your mind to be aware of the living presence of the crystal at all times. If you can sense its weight, feel it as much as you possibly can, as often as you can. In your waking awareness, the crystal provides much information pertinent to your state of focus at any given moment, and will provide much support and guidance.